Hey, so today I want to talk about the super exciting topic, which is AI agents, and how I envision that we will gradually progress and have to learn as leaders and managers how to embed them in our current team setup, how to think about AI. And obviously, I'm not the AI expert, it's just the set of my thoughts, which I gained through listening to others, but also through experimenting with AI agents and trying to solve different problems with them. So, it's obvious that we are during the revolution, right? And that AI is revolutionizing a lot of industries and how we progress with stuff, that it will revolutionize the medicine and health and technology and many other things along the way. So we have to start thinking as a regular mid managers or whomever, how to embed them in our companies, in our setup, and how to think about them. Then first story I have in mind when I'm thinking about AI revolution is what happened to the in Industrial Light and Magic, right? This is a company that was creating the first Star Wars and many others after. And all the models in first Star Wars were done manually, right, by model makers. And it was a whole new profession of people doing models for film. And in general, people who lived by creating effects like film effects, but physically. And then came computers with 3D graphics, and suddenly they had to upskill themselves or be more irrelevant, right? Now it's like coming back a little, but for a long time, these people were either fired, they didn't have a job, or they upskilled themselves to be able to live in the digital world. And I think a little this revolution is similar in here, that either people will adapt on how to use AI to make them more relevant, or it will be hard for them to, have meaningful jobs and be relevant on the job market. So, before we'll get what I think about AI and how am I using it, let's go back and talk about the evolution of AI. So, first we had algorithms, right? And regular programming where we had a set of instructions on how to manipulate given input and to generate the expected outcome, right? So we wrote not only the input, but also the instructions, and we had the outcome. That's all great. But how it differs from machine learning and LLMs is that suddenly we created something like try to write an algorithm set of instructions that will be able to determine on a picture that it's a horse, right? Like it sounds kind of impossible. It has 4 legs, and maybe it's a zebra. Like it's hard. It's hard. So what happened is that we created a technology many years ago that we have an input like an image of a horse, and we expect the outcome that it will be labeled as a horse, right? And it will provide enough inputs, like 1 million images of a horse, and all of them might be marked as horse. Then it will figure out this machine learning and neurons inside how to accomplish that. So now we understand the input, we know the expected outcome, but we don't know what happens inside. We can create layers that communicate with each other, but we don't understand what weights were given where in order to accomplish the given outcome, right? And this is how LLMs were created. It's basically that if we will give you this input, you will tokenize it, and then there is a probability of this token, so this syllab or whatever part of the word, being after this part of the word. And then it goes on probability to figure out the whole sentence, which makes sense. And this is where we are with AI, right? At few years ago. And then what happened is that we introduced that, like, it hallucinated a lot. It didn't know a lot of things because it only worked on probability of this syllable after this one. And we introduced something as retrieval augmented generate, so RAGs, right? And this is that we inject relevant data for it to not hallucinate. So if you would ask AI how many holidays or days off I have left in this financial year or calendar year, it will give you like random number, or it will say, I don't know, if you will let it, but most will hallucinate. And if you will provide this insight, this input from some database, or it has access to this database, then it will figure out the answer and give you the correct thing. And now we have the AI agents. And this is where it's becoming interesting. So, AI agents is the way of creating. So, AI agents is the way in we have a set of AIs communicating with each other and working on more complex tasks together, right? So, in a week or two, I will release a video in which I've created AI-generated CV maker, so you can give an input about your experience and personal achievements or whatever in any format, right? Like as a text, not formatted in any way, and also the advert. And then one AI will take it, will analyze all the steps. It will send this to the first AI LLM, which is a CV writer, which will get your input and advert and generate a first draft of the CV. Then it will send it to the CV critic, which will analyze this CV and will say the feedback about it, what should be changed to make it more ATS optimized. Then it goes back to the CV writer, which optimizes it. So you can imagine we have the planner, AI planner, LLM. It talks to writer, writer talks to critic, and critic talks to writer, right? Then when the critic approved the final version of the CV, writer goes back to planner, and planner goes to renderer. It analyzes to the format of YAML render CV open source library format, and if the validation is successful, it goes to the output and the PDF is generated, right? So this is what I created, and I will share it open source, obviously, and also discuss it in details in a week or two. So this is where we are. We have a planner, writer, right? And this is like AI agent and multiple AIs talking with each other. And one of them may read web or search for data somewhere, right? So this is amazing. And as you can see, that AI agents first, it can perform multi-step actions and reason about them as they go, right? So multi-step actions, right? The renderer LLM also runs a Python code as a tool. So yeah, it's a whole thing. It can also accomplish this task based on the prompt you created. So the most important part of all of this is not the setup, but writing correct prompts for each one of these and doing the correct relationships between them so they can work effectively, right, and perform a given task. Sometimes it still fails. LLM will not figure out something, can understand what in YAML was wrong and why it failed in rendering, can't fix the thing, and it will stuck in a loop or something. So it has to be fixed, but this is the general direction. Everything will be about orchestrating the sets of AI to accomplish tasks. So now you will have to have a problem. You will have to think about all the steps that has to happen, who is responsible for what, and then you set up AIs in order to achieve the given result. And it's like programming, but even on a higher level, when you program through prompt engineering and relation between AIs, basically. So, as you can see, right, it can revolutionize a lot of businesses and industries, and it's huge. I think in order to be, relevant on the job market, soon everyone will have to be able to know how to do prompt engineering and will have analytical mindset to split stuff into AIs and orchestrate them, which is, quite exciting, but also scary. So to do that, right, we will have to create this hybrid workspaces, or I don't know how to call it. Like the regular task delivery will be less and less important, and more important will be delivery of a solution to the problem or product delivery, right? That you will be able to connect all the dots together, get answers from correct stakeholders about dependencies and something to unblock yourself and to unblock your AIs in orchestrating stuff, testing it, making sure that the results are accurate and that it works, right? So it will be like this new environment where everyone is a creator end-to-end and product manager, engineering manager, engineer, orchestrating everything, talking with people and making sure that it works. And I believe that one of the most important skills about this will be, being good at communicating with others, with AIs through prompts, but also with other people, stakeholders, their AIs, whatever, to get the correct answers and correct things in order to build stuff effectively. And all of us, right, have this problem that we are not currently, not a lot of companies have dedicated AI teams which are focusing on delivery and of AI, educating people and so on. So we have to be lifelong learners and basically learn on the job or outside of the job, find opportunities where we can incorporate AI into work flow. We have to find these things and find time to educate ourselves, to upskill ourselves, and to learn about the theory a little, about the orchestration. Everything is basically, open source or very cheap with 4.0 Mini from GPT. And you can start working, you can start playing around and trying to find these opportunities, right? Be relevant, be educated, and start experimenting. And while, if you'll be able to successfully inspire yourself, inspire your managers, inspire your team, then I believe, I hope, right? This is also why I'm doing this. I hope that because of this, all of us will be more relevant, more prepared for the revolution that's going on, right? It's this progression of these capabilities of AI that we have to be able to learn how to use. I will link a lot of resources in the description for the course on prompt engineering from Anthropic, which I believe is great and really, really good. And also some YouTube videos from IBM, I think, about the, in general, LLMs and RAGs and agents, how it progressed. So a little bit of theory. It's super accessible and will allow, all of us to be better. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you want to see the video, the future one about the CV making AI agent, which I created, make sure to subscribe to not miss it. And I will see you next time.